It's Severe Weather Awareness Week. With tornado season just around the corner, we're talking to forecaster Aaron May about how to be prepared when severe weather strikes.
And as prices continue to rise, so are those interest rates, how the changes will impact your spending habits.
Plus, a breakfast chain is hatching in Bowling Green, a new downtown option that's sure to be excellent.
Live from the campus of Bowling Green State University.
Well, while the weather is warming up, the rain still coming down. Welcome to BG Today. I'm Claire Mitchell.
And I'm Steve Iwanek. Hopefully we're past the winter weather phase now here in Bowling Green. We're on to spring, but with spring weather comes severe weather.
Yeah, with that, let's take a look at the forecast now. Joining us is our weather anchor, Aaron May. Aaron, we've seen some rainy, some soggy last couple days here on campus. What does the rest of the weekend hold for us here?
Hey Claire, it still looks kind of soggy out there. And today we've seen quite a bit of rain showers going through, and this evening we don't have as high of a chance of rain showers, but it's still there. Luckily it was warm out today though. We've been used to the cold, but this evening chilly weather is going to return. That's going to be a very much occurring theme, and it's been about a normal Bowling Green day with about 10 to 15 mile-per-hour winds. Looking ahead tomorrow, and we will be seeing more scattered rain showers, and overnight we have a small chance of some snow flurries. But hopefully that's about it for the season. None of it's supposed to accumulate. The high is going to be a lot cooler, 41 degrees, low of 35, and once again it's going to be breezy at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, we're going to go ahead and start looking ahead to the week. And Saturday, you're going to see a warm-up again. But once again, it's going to be a washout. 60 degrees, so at least it's going to be nice. It's not going to be a very cold rain. And we're still going to have those cooler temperatures. And then we're going to see kind of the sun and clouds start to kind of battle it out here. But however, I'm not seeing as much rain in the forecast. We're seeing a lot of spring-like temperatures, 55 and 49. And then we go ahead 49 and 52, and we do have those lows staying around freezing or just above freezing. So it's starting to look a lot more spring-like here, Claire and Steve. So that's starting to look more normal. We're not freezing anymore.
Right, so Aaron, we saw a little bit of rain today, nothing too crazy, but this week actually highlights some more severe weather that we see in our area. Yeah,
that's right. This week is Severe Weather Awareness Week. So Aaron, let's talk about the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. What is that difference?
Well, the answer is going to make you a little bit hungry, I believe. We're talking tacos here today. And we have a taco watch, which is like a tornado watch. All the ingredients are there for a possible tornado. So we could have some onions and cilantro in a shell. It's all spread out across the table, but it's not been put together. The ingredients are there. It's a watch. If you have a taco warning, which is like a tornado warning, that taco's been put together. It's hot. It's ready to serve. It's ready to eat. All the ingredients have been put together, and that is when you take shelter. There's either rotation or there's been a confirmed tornado on the ground.
We're still talking about weather.
We are.
We're not talking about tacos. We're not making
tacos
tacos today. But it's a fair argument, though, because I think tornado watch and tornado warning definitely used interchangeably on our stations, what we see here. Yeah. So it's good to know. So, Aaron, let's say a tornado hits Bowling Green here. A lot of us either live in dorms, we live in apartments. Not everyone has access to a basement, and not everyone's seen a tornado before. Where do you recommend people to go to shelter, say something like that hits here?
If you're in an apartment, it's a good idea to make friends with the people who live below you, especially if you live on a second, third, fourth floor of an apartment building. So make friends with those people downstairs so you can knock on their door, so you can take shelter in their place, most likely like a bathroom or interior closet or interior hallway, far away from windows. If you're in a dorm, go to the lowest part of that dorm. So you want to, once again, stay away from windows, go to an interior area, make sure you're not near an exterior wall, because that way debris can come in, and that is the most dangerous part of a tornado.
All right, Aaron, I appreciate you taking the time to talk today with us about weather safety and tacos. Now I'm getting hungry. But one last question, just out of curiosity, when was the last time there was a tornado in Bowling Green?
In Bowling Green proper, it's been since the mid-90s since we've had a tornado. It unfortunately injured 3 people. However, just to our south in North Baltimore, we did have a tornado in 2019 that took down some barns. So it's not extremely common up in this part of Ohio. However, they do happen, so you still always have to stay weather aware and pay attention to watches and warnings.
All right, good to know. Thanks so much, Aaron. Switching gears now, a new safety legislation is in the works for railroads all over the country, including right here in Ohio.
That's right. Governor Mike DeWine met with a U.S. Senate committee on Wednesday. He supports 2 bills that aim to improve rail safety. This comes after several train derailments in Ohio over the past year. One of the bills, called the Rail Safety Act, would set new safety requirements and procedures for trains carrying hazardous materials. It would also step up inspection standards and increase fines for safety violations.
Out of those 2 bills, we ought to be able to get a bill that will make a big difference. I served many years in the House and the Senate. I'm not going to get into the gory details about which version of the bill is better, but we need the changes. I think either bill will do a good job.
Now, officials say they want railroad crews to use devices that check rail car parts, like axles and brakes, to look for those issues. The Senate is expected to take up the bill in April. Well, a man is now in custody after carrying a knife on the Michigan State University campus. No injuries have been reported at this time, according to officials, but this does follow the deadly shooting that happened on the campus back in February. The MSU police says another student has been released from the hospital since then. Of the 5 people injured in the shooting, 1 student is still in the hospital, and they remain in critical condition. Well, the U.S. Federal Reserve is raising interest rates by 0.25%.
Yeah, this is happening despite some economists asking them to pause hikes. The increase will make it more expensive to borrow and invest while cooling down spending at the same time. Credit card interest rates are also expected to increase.
It is too soon to determine the extent of these effects, and therefore too soon to tell how monetary policy should respond. As a result, we no longer state that we anticipate that ongoing rate increases will be appropriate to quell inflation. Instead, we now anticipate that some additional policy firming may be appropriate.
In the last 9 months, this will raise the cost of borrowing money for things like cars, homes, and credit cards. Powell says this could be the final time interest rates rise in this cycle.
Well, BGSU One Day is set to begin next week. The annual day of giving to BG students and programs is on Wednesday and will last till Thursday at noon. You can choose from dozens of areas to lend support. I'm talking about academics, athletics, maybe health and wellness, and a bunch of other departments. More than $1.5 million was raised last year from over 2,800 donors.
A new breakfast restaurant is opening in downtown BG. This is City Egg's 3rd location in Ohio. Other locations include downtown Toledo and Columbus. They have several different breakfast and lunch options on their menu, including omelets, breakfast sandwiches, and wraps. The Toledo location says they'll be opening for breakfast later this week.
Well, April is almost here, and this is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and Bowling Green has resources available for survivors. BG24's Kerrigan Stark is live in studio to explain how BGSU is helping its community of survivors.
Claire, as a sexual assault survivor myself, I understand how important access to care is. Knowledge of these resources is how I've gained back power from my abuser. Survivors have anonymous, legal, and healing options. When you're ready to speak up, the BGSU PD says they'll listen. Disclosing your sexual assault can be one of the hardest things to do as a survivor. Officer Carly Snyder from the BGSU PD wants you to know that whenever you're ready, they can help.
Sometimes we'll get sexual assaults that happened 4 years ago and they come in at 3 in the morning to report it. I mean, it just depends.
From there, survivors can decide what happens. Some choose to drop the case entirely and request a victim's advocate, while others may want to pursue the perpetrator.
The person is always told the ball's in your court. Here's all your options. You can report this to us. You can do an anonymous report with us. You don't have to do a report with us. You can do a report with Title IX. We just want to make sure you're okay at this point.
There are many options for survivors. An anonymous report can be made without the survivor's name and states that the assault happened. This incorporates to the university's crime statistics. Title IX can launch an investigation that can help the survivor gain protection from the assailant. The BGSUPD can collect any evidence and even hold onto it until you're ready to move forward with the case.
You can make the report, and later on you can decide you don't want it to go anywhere. You can get the sexual assault kit and not make a report and decide you don't want it to go anywhere. Or 5 years later, you decide you want the sexual assault kit tested.
Telling your story can be a really healing experience when you're ready. You can go to BGSUPD website to contact an officer. Reporting live in studio with BG24 as a journalist and survivor, I'm Kerrigan Stark.
Thank you, Kerrigan, for sharing your story. Well, it's Women's History Month, and the university is honoring female leaders in the BGSU community.
That's right. BGSU senior Madison Baltimore is getting recognition for her role on campus. Last week, Baltimore was one of 6 who received a Women of Distinction Award at the 9th annual event. As a team leader in the Multicultural Student Link program, her goal is to create a close-knit environment among students of color.
I saw how tight-knit and close the Black community at BG was, and I really wanted to keep that, especially post-pandemic, because we lost that sense of community at one point. So it's really just driven me to be intentional with our programming in different organizations, and just showing up in spaces, whether it's just hanging out in the union or doing whatever I may need to do to help.
Now, before Baltimore graduates, she says her goal is to make sure students of color continue to show up for one another. She encourages students to use the campus spaces that have been created for them. But after graduation, she plans to go into program development for Black mothers with babies to advocate for equality in the healthcare system.
All right, well, the Bats are swinging on campus once again.
Oh yeah, coming up, Falcon Baseball hosts their home opener from Stellar Field.
Plus, several BGSU football players had the chance to showcase their skills at Pro Day. What pro teams are looking out for from Carl Brooks heading into the NFL draft.
Welcome back to BG24 with this week's sports update. I'm Charlie Ryan. After weather delayed them a week, baseball made their way to Stellar Field for their home opener. BGSU baseball is finally playing some home baseball. The Falcons defeated Purdue Fort Wayne on Tuesday in the home opener 8-6. Yesterday, BG extended their winning streak to 3 with an 18-6 win over Youngstown State. The Falcons continue their home stand this weekend against Miami Redhawks with first pitch of the series at 3 o'clock on Friday. On Monday, BGSU held their annual Pro Day for 7 BGSU football players. 28 NFL teams and 1 CFL team attended the event. Out of the 7 invited was Carl Brooks, who missed out on an invitation to the NFL Combine this past season. Brooks had a 28-rep bench, which put him in the top 5 at the Combine this year. Brooks is one of the top contenders to be selected this April among the Falcons in the 2023 draft. The NFL draft is currently set for April 27th. As former players continue to look towards the next level, BGSU is bringing in new options for their quarterback position. Connor Bazelak spent 3 years at Missouri and a year at Indiana before joining the Orange and Brown in January. Bazelak brings experience to the team that he says playing in intense environments in the SEC and Big Ten helped him and his teammates for the upcoming season.
Yeah, I think I can kind of help the players around me. Just like you said, I've seen pretty much every coverage, every defense. I've played in the most hostile environments, so there's nothing that'll faze me, and I feel like I can kind of share that experience with some of the teammates.
Bazelak is one of 4 quarterbacks competing for the starting job next fall. You can catch the Falcons in the season opener on September 2nd at Liberty. Well, that's it for sports this week, and as women's basketball continues dancing in the WNIT, I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thank you so much, Charlie.
And hey, thanks for watching BG Today. Follow us for the latest news on Twitter at BG24 TV or find us on the web at bgfalconmedia.com.
That's right, we'll be back next Thursday with updates from around Bowling Green and Wood County. Have a good afternoon.